All right, so we've made these two scenarios and we kind of stayed in the sheets while we were doing it, but I want to show you kind of what's going on in the rest of the file and how this is working. So if I come up and I expand the detail views, which these are all the detail views, and the 3D views, which we did the 3D views, if I expand the 3D views and the detail views, you'll see there's ceiling assembly 1, ceiling assembly 2, floor assembly 1, floor assembly 2, wall assembly 1, wall assembly 2. So all of the ceiling assembly 2s are on the second scenario and all the ceiling assembly 1s are on the other side. Oh, we don't need this one. Let's go ahead and delete that. And you'll see that we have 3D parallel 1, 2, 1 and 1, 2, 2. 2, 2 is on the second one and 2, 1 is on the first one. So by duplicating all those views, it just put these views in here. So if you wanted to create your third scenario, you would come in and right click on, doesn't matter which sheet, but duplicate the sheet and duplicate with views and duplicate with detailing. And you'll see it create a whole nother series of copies, right? And so you would come in here and you could rename it here. We renamed it in the sheet previously, but you could just do this as 3, right? And you'll see it update down here. So you could rename it here or in these places. So this would be renamed to 3, right? And then this would be renamed to 3. And this would be renamed to 3. And so it's going to look exactly like whichever view you duplicated, right? And so then what you would do is, let's go down and change this guy, right, to scenario to 1, 2, 2, 3, and change it to scenario 3, right? So now I have the scenario 3, and what I want to do in here, if I double click in here, right, I want to go to the third option, right? And so now if I come in here and go to option 3, I can go and start to update option 3. So the first thing to do to make sure that it's working is just go back to the main model. And in this view, go to your visibility graphics, and in the design options, instead of option 2, pick option 3, right? And then if I go over here and double click and VV instead of option 2, we'll pick option 3, right? And if I double click in here and VV, we'll go to design options and set it to option 3, okay? And then here, same thing, VV, set that design option to option 3, okay? So now all those are set to 3, and you can go through the same process again. You would come in here and go to option 3, pick this guy, edit type, duplicate it, A2 ceiling 3, click OK, and edit it, right? And change it just like we did with the other ones, all right? And then you would just continue that. And we would, if you had another option. And then when you're done with all of your stuff, just go back to your main model and they should all be updating, to whatever you did. Hopefully that's making sense. If I go to just sort of off of a sheet, if I go back to just my 3D view, what's going to show in my 3D view in my main model is the main model. So anything that's not in an option, like these walls are not in an option, right? And whatever is in the primary. So option 1 is the primary right now. So my scenario 1, that's my primary. So even though they're in an option, that is set to primary. So it shows when the main model is current, right? So if I were to change my primary, so let's say that I decided I like option 2 and I wanted to see it all the time, I could make that primary, and now option 2 is primary. Or I could go back to my main, to the design options and make option 1 primary again, and it will make that primary. So it just depends, what you want to see while you're just working on the regular model and in main model, okay? I hope that makes sense. The other thing is, again, I'll sort of repeat this, but anything that's in an option is not going to be selectable. Like it's not letting me pick that. You either need to go to the option, so option 1, and then I can sort of mess with just that option. It isolates it. Or if you can see it, so if I'm in the main model and I can't pick it, but I want to mess with it, you can get rid of this little exclude options check, and it will let you change that, right? And so that is pretty much it. And then when I come back, we'll print. We'll export those sheets, and I'll show you how to do that.